Hi, I'm Charity Nebbe, and this is Greetings from Iowa. A number of studies have explored the benefits of art in helping to cultivate a person's well-being. We know art can help someone see another viewpoint, it can communicate an idea, it can help a person make sense of the world. On this episode of Greetings from Iowa, we'll share some incredible stories of the power of art. We'll meet an art therapist who uses the arts to help empower individuals. We'll head to the town of Creston to see how local artists took part in a community mural project to transform the downtown. And we'll meet a group of kids in Waterloo who use art to grow personally and socially. Join me as we explore some of the incredible stories of our state. It's all next on Greetings from Iowa.
Funding for Greetings from Iowa is provided by...
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
The Pella Roll Screen Foundation is a proud supporter of Iowa PBS. Pella Windows and Doors strives to better our communities and build a better tomorrow.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was an Indian yoga guru, known for developing and popularizing transcendental meditation. In the late 60s, he worked with the Beatles and the Beach Boys and gained international recognition as he traveled the world teaching. In an unexpected twist, in the early 1970s, he founded Maharishi International University in, of all places, a small community in southeast Iowa.
Hello. My name is Bill Teeple. Greetings from Fairfield, Iowa. There's always been an interesting cultural underpinnings in Fairfield. It's always had a certain character.
The Roman stuff was collected by SMH buyers.
When the Transcendental Meditation people bought Parsons College, people came from all over the country, even all over the world, to attend classes here.
We're standing in front of the Vedic Observatory on the Maharishi International University campus. Each one of these instruments measures some different part of time, of astronomy, of planet movement, that type of thing.
So it drew cultural types from the big city. The magic was that there was this marriage between Midwestern, small town, straightforward, practical thinking, and all these contemporary ideas from the coast.
We are the first of 1,689 Carnegie Library buildings that Andrew Carnegie funded.
He had connections at the Smithsonian.
And the furniture in that alcove are all items that belong to the Parsons family. I'm like a lot of people, like kids in high school. You can't wait to leave and you're never going to come back. But circumstances brought me back. And if you want a better picture of Annie Woods, you can go online and find her. Since I've taken over the job of director of the Carnegie Museum, I'm discovering things about this town that just knock my socks off.
The Maasdam Barns is this venue here in Fairfield, Iowa. It was owned back in the early 1900s by Jacob Maasdam. When they come to Fairfield, they're going to see a lot of rich history of what things was like in the early 1900s that really laid claim to Fairfield. And the story was that William Loudon went to a livestock exposition. Henry Ford was there, seeing these apparatuses, and then him and Henry Ford got together because he wanted to put these in the car plants. This would have been early 1900s. I live in Fairfield because I'm at home here. I know the surroundings, but I also enjoy the city atmosphere that, like a lot of our students have brought. So you get a taste of what else is out there in the world that typically that you don't see if you're living in Fairfield all the time. So I like Fairfield because of the variety.
And so you can walk about in Fairfield and hear foreign languages being spoken and eat at authentic ethnic restaurants. And so you really get that kind of world experience in a small town in Iowa.
Wow, yeah, lifelong from 2020 to 2021. I grew up in Alabama. For this, 13 years in Asheville, North Carolina. My wife, she grew up here.
Melting pot. It's a very unique, culturally diverse town in the middle of nowhere.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but Fairfield, because this small, manageable, human level lifestyle that you can have in a small town is combined with one of the more unique cultural combinations going here in Fairfield.
Historically, there's been a stigma related to mental health when really it's, something basic to all of us. Art therapy is a mental health profession, and it combines psychological theory and art making. There's been a lot of work in the area of neuroscience in the brain and trauma. They found that when someone goes through a traumatic experience, that part of the brain that has language and narrative and sequential words to kind of shuts down. And it has to do with being in survival mode. So when you ask someone to talk about that experience, it's often very difficult, and there isn't the words there because it was the experience, the multi-sensory experience. So the art, you can have them express it visually and start to talk about what is on the paper, and that's putting a narrative then, and they're better able to access that and then access the emotions that go with it. I've worked with teenagers a lot. They're not excited about talking to a therapist usually. And so, doing the art is another way to connect with them and lower their anxiety and their defenses and help them communicate in a way that may be a little more relaxed. I met Megan as a teenager who had a lot of difficult feelings. And we did art therapy together, I think, for 3 years. I feel she learned a lot of really good coping skills for the stressors that she was experiencing. And art became one of the major things that helped her with her coping, to the point where now, as an adult, she's an artist. She's a painter primarily.
Traditional therapy didn't really click with me. I didn't like talking about a lot of things, but I always loved to draw. I started learning different techniques from Diane. I started using my sketchbook like a diary. Made me realize I loved to draw. I was good at drawing. I had a passion for it, and that it was my voice. My art career now is I do a lot of commissions and murals. I teach at Oak Knoll. I teach my residents how to draw and paint. We have like a little session, living proof, kind of working with cancer survivors and their families, doing art. And I've been lucky, I don't know, it's a lot of commission, word of mouth, and Facebook, Instagram, Etsy. Art kind of takes all the noise away when you draw or paint or create. It just kind of puts you in a different headspace, and you can kind of zero in on one thing rather than trying to worry about a bunch of them all at once. The beautiful thing about art is that you make something that wasn't there before, and that it is timeless, it doesn't have any boundaries, and it's freedom. You don't have to create a masterpiece to be an artist or put that pressure on yourself. We already put a lot of pressures on ourselves without having to do that. Famous words of Bob Ross, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents.
The town of Creston launched a downtown facade mural project in 2020 that involved local students, residents, and artists from across the country. In the process, they designed and created more than 20 murals that transformed the town.
I had a student come to me, Caitlin Schultz, and she wanted to apply for a scholarship. And so she had this idea to work with students who had community service hours and pair them with artists to create a mural. Originally, I thought with Caitlin we would have maybe 1 or 2 murals. And from there, we were blessed with a summer full of painting walls.
Like a flower on the chair.
We just initially wanted to do those 2 murals, and then a month later, it's like, oh, we have $40,000 in funds to pretty much paint the whole community and bring in artists.
She contacted me and told me that they were doing this big project in Creston and that I should come back and be a part of it to bring in local artists from diverse backgrounds.
Once I heard the opportunity to be able to do this art, I had to jump on it. It was like really exciting.
I don't think I really grasped the concept of, how much it was going to be from the start. I thought, oh yeah, we'll have a couple cool things here and there, but it turned out to be a huge project and really kind of changed the face of a lot of our uptown.
An overwhelming response was that everybody did want to be a part of it, and they wanted to really give that space for artists to create their artwork. And so not many of the building owners even asked for the content of what the murals would be on their buildings. They just had that full trust. And so I think that's really unique with having, being a part of the community and having that support.
I was super excited. We had been looking for a project that involved mentorship and specifically that focused on our juveniles, age middle school, high school.
I'm not involved in very many activities with the school. I don't do sports or any groups, so it feels nice to have something that I could join in. There was an artist that kind of used me as a reference for one of the murals. And so my family came out, my sister and my mom came out and helped us sketch it on the wall and paint it, finish it and everything.
The whole time we were all painting, it was quiet. We didn't have any music playing or anything. We were all just painting. It was zen, in my opinion. And I remember just thinking this is really cool to create a space and an opportunity for people to just show up and just do work. There's no expectation about conversations or behaviors or attitudes. We're just here to do this together.
Brendan and I both were here almost every day. We worked on them all from
helping with last-minute mock-up changes to tracing them at night, starting the priming and painting. And then we also got to do our own murals, so that was super cool to have that individualized experience that from like everything that we learned before.
Mine is a portrait of my face, and then I have like headphones that are connected to a heart that has the pride flag on it. And then over my mouth it says, "Listen to your heart." Because I feel like a lot of the time we're always caught up in what other people are trying to put onto us, and we're not really focusing on what we believe in for ourselves, and then we just get lost.
It's all about just like growing where you're planted, because in Creston especially you hear a lot of like dissing the town, and it's just really like about trying to get people to like grow where they're at and like help build each other.
I have two names. Mei Ling is actually my American name. My authentic Chinese name, I guess you could say, is Jiang Yilian, which means lotus. So lotus actually is kind of how I see myself. I symbolize myself in that way.
I just wanted to do something that was kind of encouraging and uplifting, especially considering like we were going into the summer, the pandemic was still happening, and like it was just all these things were unprecedented, you know, and so I just wanted to do something that was a little more encouraging.
We started off with several local artists that was just wonderful for the students to work with and to get to see their designs and learn more about them. And then from there, we had other opportunities. We were able to bring in professional artists who are muralists and had experience working with the youth. And so we were able to work with a lot of really amazing, talented people.
I believe in rural revitalization, like how important it is for smaller towns. And so what we've been doing here, trying to recuperate the public space that has been forgotten for so many years. You know, we believe that that changes the lives of the people that live in the communities. And so art is a way of doing it quick, fast, and showing people the value on those forgotten places.
When I walk around, I'm able to like see how much time and dedication like people have put into the murals, and I've been able to see while working on them just all of the like smiles and joy like people have put into them. And when people like walk past them, like they always like make good comments about it, or they always want to like stand there and take pictures.
I think it was a very good project. I think it gave them something to be proud of, something to give back to the community. I had a lot of students who were excited to show parents and friends what part they took in it.
It has inspired me to create more.
And what a great project. I mean, the money is spent here in Creston. The kids are from the area, and it goes on to Creston walls.
This particular project was very exciting because of how quickly it came together and how many murals they were able to complete in such a short amount of time, and the number of community members and students and the demographic of people that took part or contributed their time and energy to the project was really amazing.
I was a part of that. I was there when that was just a blank wall, you know? It's all really great.
It was really unreal. It was really hard to believe. It was hard to wrap our head around, and we just kept going out day after day and just painting. Yeah, we never imagined it to turn out to be what it was.
Well, this is what I tell the students, actually. I tell them that youth art team isn't something you go to, it's you. How did this start? There were some people getting to know kids in the neighborhood. So they were spending time in the summer with them, and they noticed how creative they were with chalk on the sidewalks and things like that. So they pulled together some people to try to figure out how they could stay connected with them in the fall when they all went back to school, and thought it'd be cool to do something with art. The first project We had them interview people from the community. So from the very beginning, they were engaging with adults and listening to their stories, and then creating artwork inspired by those stories.
The freedom one, it's one over there. I really liked it because I could really get all my emotions out on that one.
It's about the emotions of like the civil rights, and it's not just like a picture of what happened, it's like through our art.
The Our Freedom Story mural and the 4th Street Bridge murals are by the Cedar River, which is a place that has historically divided this community by race.
I interviewed my grandmother for Waterloo's history. We asked her questions about how Waterloo was back in the 60s and the 50s. She told us about how the lumber yard was like caught on fire during the Waterloo riots, and she just watched it from her grandmother's porch. Yeah, that's crazy.
So then when I actually heard the stories, felt the emotions, I was able to convey my emotions onto paper with a guess of how they would feel.
They pieced them all together, and then we started painting. It looks like a whole bunch of doodles put together to make this beautiful art piece to show all the emotions.
So this is the spot that I did, and kind of there's a light inside of all of us, and kind of it's cracking open. It just holds a lot of ideas from many different people. It's a snapshot of what people thought in the moment, but then it can be interpreted of many different ways.
Whenever I'm in this part of town and I see the mural, it's always it's a surprise every time just how amazing it is, and how cool it is that we could accomplish this.
The 4th Street Bridge is a real iconic Waterloo structure that is real symbolic of connecting both sides of the river, connecting people.
When I was younger, I did a lot of just circles and stuff because I really enjoyed drawing circles and stuff. I don't know why. Funny story though, they didn't know which way to put it. They didn't know to flip it over or not.
Every time I see a piece of art, I look at it so closely. I look at the detail, color. I see if there's any texture. This is the plaid peacock. This was my very first project. Since we were really little, we couldn't go up there, so we painted the bricks down here. So the spots of the peacock and the feathers are the silhouettes of the painters. And so mine's right there. That's mine. I don't think I would have been able to say to myself, I could paint a peacock on the side of a building.
I think it's scary to put your work out in the world, no matter what it is, whether it's art or anything else. But they get to do it at a young age and with a team. So we're taking these huge risks together and putting things out into the world, but with a supportive community.
We brought color to Waterloo. So yeah, I do feel like we're a part of the community.
We have taken on a lot of planning. We've taken on a lot of projects of our own, kind of taking the younger kids under our wing, teaching them not only how to be leaders, but learning how to be leaders in the process.
If you just sit down and actually think about something something to change the world, and you make a piece, and if it's big enough or if it gets enough attention, you might actually be able to put an impact, or at least a little dent in the world before you leave.
'Cause I think it's scary to put your work out in the world, no matter what it is, whether it's art or anything else.
If you just sit down and actually think about something something to change the world, and you make a piece, and if it's big enough or if it gets enough attention, you might actually be able to put an impact, or at least a little dent in the world before you leave.
in 50 years, I want people to know how youth art team tried their best and like always reflected through their artwork the beauty of the community and how even things that are really ugly can become messages of hope and stuff like that. And that art is such a big part of that, and kids are such a big part of that.
Thanks for joining us as we explore the arts and culture of our state. I'm Charity Nebbe. See you next time for another Greetings from Iowa.
Funding for Greetings from Iowa is provided by...
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
The Pella Roll Screen Foundation is a proud supporter of Iowa PBS. Pella Windows and Doors strives to better our communities and build a better tomorrow.